G'day and welcome to another edition of Hef's Beer Reviews. Today I'm going to be reviewing this beer here. It's from Peroni in Italy. It's their Gran Riserva Puro Malto. So it's an all malt lager. Comes in this 500ml bottle. 5.2% is the ABV, so 2.1 standard drinks. If you're not familiar with the Gran Riserva series from Peroni, they've got two others. This one, as I said, it's their premium all malt lager with the gold label. They've also got one with the red label, which is a Vienna lager, and a black label, which is a Bock or a strong lager. I've never had any of them before. As I said when I reviewed Peroni Red, Peroni's not a beer or a brand that I drink very often at all. In fact, I couldn't tell you the last time I had a regular Peroni. So, that being said, I do have this 330ml green bottle of Peroni, purchased in Australia. So, of course, it's brewed in Australia. Under license, never a good thing. 5% is the ABV on this one, but I thought that I'd do a little comparison. I'm going to do a blind taste test of both of these. Not being familiar with this one and not having had the Gran Riserva before at all should be interesting. This one is more expensive. I'll cover off the price point later. It's more difficult to come by, whereas the Australian brewed Peroni you can get in almost any bottle shop, at least in metropolitan New South Wales. Not sure about the rest of the country. So, is it worth going to the extra trouble to try and find this? Is it worth paying the extra money? Or could you just go out and get your regular Peroni? This one, as I said, is all malt. Your regular Peroni is not. It's got corn as an adjunct, like a lot of American macro lagers, I might add. Here in Australia, obviously, most of our macro lagers traditionally use cane sugar. This one's got some corn in it. So in a moment, I will, off camera, get Mrs. Hef to come in, pour these out into these two beer glasses that have just been freshly rinsed, and we'll get on with the taste test. So I'll see you with that in a moment. Okay, in front of me, I've got two beers here. Mrs. Hef came in and did the honours. Just wipe away some of the condensation. Both very clear. The one on the left has a slightly better head. Carbonation looks very similar. The colour is pretty similar, although I think this one here might just be a touch darker. But pretty similar in appearance. Aroma. Straight away, I'm going to say that this one is the Gran Riserva. The reason being, it's a much maltier, grainy, bready aroma. Whereas this one, you can tell that it's lighter and that it's got an adjunct in there. Big difference in aroma. All right, let's go in for the taste. Cheers. Well, there's a bit of hop there. Yeah, it's very malty. The body, I'd say, still, I guess it's edging towards medium, but by no means is it full. There's some sweetness to it. Reasonably well balanced with some hop bitterness. The finish is dry-ish. little bit of residual sweetness as well. All right, let's try this one. More carbonated, light body, not a whole lot coming through in the flavour, just a little bit of light grain, I guess. Probably a bit drier in the finish though. Definitely crisper, definitely crisper. Yeah, close to medium in body. It's I mean, this one is pretty bloody light. I mean, when I had this on its own, I said, you know, edging towards medium, but it's got a lot more body than this one. Both sessionable. I definitely think this is the Gran Riserva, and this one here is your regular Peroni. So I know you can't see on the camera, but I've got the beers on a coaster. There's a piece of paper underneath. There'll be a GR for Gran Riserva, and there'll be a P for the regular Peroni. So there we go. Gran Riserva, which means under this one, yep, is P for Peroni. So there you go. First of all, can you tell the difference? Absolutely you can. Big difference. As I said in the introduction, it's not as if I'm really familiar with your regular Peroni and I could pick that out. I'm not familiar with it at all, so just straight up blind taste test. Big difference. Big difference. Which one is better, or which one do I prefer? What might you prefer? Well, look, I prefer this one. I think it's a better beer. Which might you prefer? Well, I guess it depends what you're after. If you like a maltier beer, one that's got more flavour, one that's got a bit more body, then definitely the Gran Riserva is for you. It's a good beer. Do you like something that's lighter? Something that doesn't have as much flavour, so potentially for you it's going to be easier to drink. Possibly more sessionable as well. It's very refreshing. I'll give it that. Then the regular Peroni would be my suggestion for you. I think it's a bit lacking. I must say. I know that people who have had the Italian brewed Peroni versus the Australian brewed Peroni say that they're chalk and cheese, and the Italian brewed version is light years ahead of this one. So I'm happy to bow to their experience and agree with them. Might as well score both of them, because I've never reviewed regular Peroni, so why not have a sip. Apologies for the length of the video. Yeah, it's light and refreshing. That's about all I can say. I don't think it's got a lot going for it. I did look up the prices. So your regular Peroni at the time of filming, you're looking at just over $50 a case at Dan Murphy's. Kind of $50 to $55 depending on where you're looking. A lot of Australian macro lagers are around the same price point. I guess it's 330 mils, smaller bottle, but it is 5%, which in a lot of cases is a touch higher. So I guess that's kind of an individual taste thing. If you want Peroni over Tui's, VB, Carlton Draft, Resch's, Melbourne, etc. The Gran Riserva, look, if you can find it, and I found it online at Valor Cellars for $70 a case. It's on special, but when Dan Murphy's has stocked it, and they have in the past, it was around the $90 mark. So big difference in price. Purvis has singles on special for $9.50. I got it from, and now the name of the bottle shop escapes me, but it's the one in Parramatta on Phillip Street. It's an independent bottle shop, and I mentioned it in my review of one of the German beers. The Dunkel? Was it the Erdinger Dunkel? I can't remember. Should have checked that. Anyway, so yeah, much harder to find, more expensive, but for me it's a much better beer. Regular Peroni, brewed in Australia, I only give it a 2.5 out of 5. Don't think it's a great beer. Gran Riserva Puro Malto Premium Lager, brewed in Italy. It's a very good lager. It's a very good lager. I only give that one 4 out of 5. Big difference in score. 2.5 out of 5, 4 out of 5. There you go. There's the comparison of the Peroni. We'll leave it there. It's been a long one. If you made it this far, thanks for watching. Catch you next time on Hef's Beer Reviews.